The West thinks it knows the monsters on the map. Denver's metronome, OKC's wave, LA's star power. Then the lights flicker and 3 Texas teams step out of the tunnel, looking taller, meaner, less interested in your memories than your matchups. Houston added a closer. Dallas drafted a problem. San Antonio stalked its future like a vault. If you're not nervous yet, wait until the film catches up to the rumors. But that wasn't the whole story, because the biggest swing belongs to the city that finally found a finisher. Kevin Durant walks into a locker room that didn't need saving. It needed endings. Ime Udoka already built a defense that arms wrestled the West. What Houston lacked was a late clock adult. Someone who could make bad possessions disappear with 2 dribbles and a 17-footer that feels inevitable. KD is that inevitability. The starting shape is simple and sharp. Amen Thompson detonates transition, Fred VanVleet keeps the floor organized, Alperen Şengün bends coverages with fakes and footwork, Durant hunts the mid-post, and the 5th slot becomes a matchup lever. If it's Dorian Finney-Smith, the corners catch fire and the toughest wing gets swallowed. If it's Tari Eason, chaos erupts. Steals, putbacks, and a tempo that makes coaches tug at their collars. The third option? Double big with Steven Adams bodying the glass and Şengün playing the 4 on offense, 5 on defense. A bruiser build that turned the math nuclear in regular season minutes. Yes, spacing matters. Şengün at 35% from deep turns the paint into a choose-your-poison buffet. Under that, it crowds quickly. That's why Jabari Smith Jr. as a 6th-man detonator makes sense. He gets clean touches against bench units, and KD breathes while the offense keeps a flamethrower on the floor. You can nitpick the overlap. 4 ball handlers, 2 hubs, 1 ball. But it works because the roles are honest. Amen pressures the rim and finds corners. FEV is the governor, Şengün is the pivot, KD ends the argument. Add Finney-Smith as the release valve, and you're looking at a 2-way machine with a nasty sense of timing. Still, if Houston raised the ceiling, Dallas tried something stranger. They changed the floor itself. Sometimes the lottery doesn't blink. Sometimes it throws a firecracker. Cooper Flagg at number 1 gave Dallas a creator with a linebacker's chest and a librarian's memory. Then they made the choice that scares small lineups. Anthony Davis at the 4, with Derek Lively or Daniel Gafford behind him. It's the 2020 blueprint, re-inked in a new city. More rim, more glass, more pain for drivers. The opening 5 reads like a thought experiment. D'Angelo Russell, Klay Thompson, Flagg, Davis, Lively. Kyrie Irving heals in private, while Dallas hunts chemistry in public. The plan is blunt. Dominate the paint, live at the line, and hope the shots fall enough to keep the lane breathable.
That's where the ifs assemble. If D'Lo finds his touch after a brutal year, if Klay's gravity still stretches defenses past the elbows, if Flagg's college finish from deep carries over, and if AD stays on the floor for 65 games, this becomes the kind of team that can win a series by turning it into a fistfight. The coaching bet is that Flagg, as an initiator, accelerates his reads, sharpens his pace control, and covers the nights when the veteran's legs need mercy. Perimeter defense is the unslept problem. Against oxygen thieves like SGA or the leaner, quicker version of Luka, who checks the first punch? If the answer is an 18-year-old rookie, expect growing pains and film sessions. The counter is depth. PJ Washington, Gafford, Caleb Martin, Najee Marshall, Dante Exum, Max Christie. That second line can shapeshift slow runs and patch foul trouble. In the West, depth is a lifeline, and Dallas packed rope. But youth and size are only part of the triangle. The third corner is long, loud, and blinking green. Victor Wembanyama broke the league's sense of scale. Then the season ended on a scare. The best news in Texas might be 3 words: cleared to play. Year 3 Wemby is unfair. Timing better, handle cleaner, touch smoother. He alone warps the geometry of a game. The Spurs didn't stop there. They added De'Aaron Fox, one of basketball's fastest clocks, to trace arcs around Wemby's gravity. A healthy Fox-Wemby 2-man game is a problem you solve only with fouls or prayers. Around them, grown-up bigs Luke Kornet and Kelly Olynyk give Popovich the boring stability every young core needs. Rebound, screen, connect the next action. Then came draft night. Dylan Harper at number 2 and Carter Bryant at 14 turn the wing room into a lab. If Harper catches on early, the projected opening 5, Fox, Stephon Castle, Harrison Barnes, Sochan, Wemby, can morph overnight. Slide Castle up, insert Harper, and you suddenly test the league's lateral quickness. This is the most not yet but soon roster in Texas. The defense has to bind, the rookies have to breathe, and roles must glue before the wins arrive. But the arc is bright, the West is loud, the Spurs are building speakers. So which team actually scares the bracket? That depends on the matchups they'll force everyone else to play. Houston versus Switch Everything. Durant punishes Smalls, Şengün bullies guards on the block, and Amen shreds tilted floors. If opponents shade early, FVV and Finney-Smith torch corners. If they sit back, KD walks to 28. Houston versus Drop. It's a death march. KD's mid-range clinic, Şengün's pocket passes, and Amen's head-on rim pressure leave the backline guessing. Toss in Eason's chaos units and benches drown. Dallas versus pace teams. Big lineups squeeze transition by smothering the rim and vacuuming rebounds. If Clay hits early, teams have to pick their poison between flare coverage and AD dives. Flagg's hand.
Dallas versus Switch. This is AD time. Post seals, elbow touches, cross screens. If doubles come, Clay's cut-shoot game decides quarters. San Antonio versus Wings heavy units. Wemby at the nail turns drives into detours. If Fox pushes off, misses, and Harper spaces, opponents spend nights retreating. San Antonio versus Size. Olenek's playmaking and Sohan's utility keep the ball moving. Barnes soaks usage when rookie nerves show. If the 3 holds, the Spurs survive. If not, games tilt quickly. All of that theory needs a scoreboard, so let's do the uncomfortable part. Hand out grades and explain the receipts. Houston Rockets. A solve the exact problem it ends playoff runs. Who gets you a good shot when the script breaks? KD does, reliably. The defense stays mean, the rebounding travels, the bench is layered enough to eat minutes without hemorrhaging leads. Swing factor, Şengün's 3-ball. If it lands at league average on volume, the offense becomes unsolvable math. Hey, Dallas Mavericks B. There's a lot to like and a lot to test. The size can bully series, the depth gives them nightly versions, but the ifs are loud and the shooting math can get ugly if D'Lo and Clay don't hold the line while Kyrie heals. Swing factor, Cooper Flagg's learning curve. If he organizes possessions instead of merely surviving them, Dallas's ceiling snaps upward. San Antonio Spurs, C++. This isn't a slight, it's a timeline. Everything here says future problem, and the present could still surprise if Fox and Wemby click early and the rookies don't drown. Swing factor, rookie defense. If Harper defends enough to stay, the offense gets elastic fast. Grades are paper, the league is wood, sweat, and noise. The real story is the wildcards that don't fit in neat boxes. Health minutes. AD's games played, KD's back-to-backs, Wemby's load. If the minutes hold, seeds climb. Shooting variance. Dallas's 3-point attempts versus makes. A 2 threes per game swing is worth a seed line. Rookie volatility. Flagg and Harper will have clunkers. How quickly coaching shortens the bad stretches matters. Second unit identity. Houston's bench can be a fast break lab with Amen plus athletes, or a grind with Adams. Udoka's mixing board decides series tempo. Trade deadline gravity. Texas teams attract buyout vets. One late shooter or stopper can redraw playoff paths. So where does that leave the West when the dust settles? Right where Texas wants it. Nervous.
If you made power rankings by fear alone, Houston just climbed the staircase 2 steps at a time. Dallas stares down a season that could start with bumps and end with bruises. The good kind, the playoff kind, if the shots hold and Flagg matures on schedule. San Antonio may not crash the parade yet, but the float is built, the engine purrs, and the driver is 7'4" with touch. Here's the uncomfortable truth for the rest of the West. Every flight into Texas comes with a different kind of turbulence. In Houston, it's the mid-range guillotine. In Dallas, it's the wall of arms. In San Antonio, it's a future that keeps arriving faster than you planned. The league should be worried. Not because Texas is loud, because it's prepared. And when preparation meets talent, the surprise isn't the upset. It's how quickly it stops feeling like one. If you want a follow-up deep dive, lineup data, best crunch time 5 for each team, and the first 20 games that will define their seeds,
Drop triangle in the comments. I'll pin the best takes and build the next episode from your replies.